So basically I came out here and I started making my morning cup of coffee, and I revisited that clip a few different times, but the audio was just so messed up. Like, I turned it up in GarageBand, I used different softwares, and nothing was working. So this is actually the day that I'm uploading the video. I had to hop on here. This is editing me, hence like the face mask and the hoodie. I just wanted to record the first lesson that I'd learned. So the first lesson is that a lot of the times we form our identity or our personality from the traumas that we've been through, and it's easier if I kind of explain this using some examples in my life. So basically I, growing up was always a really social person. I always had a ton of different friends, and my friends were always in like lots of different friend groups, essentially. At the end of high school, I went to a college out of state, and most of my friends stayed in state, so there were kind of like natural drifting apart relationships. And then in college there were 2 or 3 core relationships that I had that didn't work out, and it's not that I regret that. I think that everything happened for the best, because those weren't the healthiest relationships in my life anyway. But because I wasn't expecting everything to happen the way that it did, and because it kind of ended up traumatizing me, I developed like some really strong fears and traumas around the idea of friendship and around just social moments. So like in college, I was out every weekend. I was constantly at parties or hanging out with different people, and after I lost these friendships, I kind of started staying in a little bit more. I made more excuses to not really go out and not really be social, and that was a core habit that I'd formed. And from that habit, I really started to kind of form the idea or the identity about myself that, I really wasn't that social. I was super introverted. I still always loved being around people. I was really good at connecting with new people, starting up new conversations, and I completely just let that part of myself go because of these fears that I had. And those fears turned into the habits of not going out, not wanting to branch out and talk to new people. And then those habits turned into how I saw myself, my identity, my personality. I think a lot of my life would have looked different if I realized this sooner. So that's a huge lesson, and I want you to think about that too. Has there been any major fears or any major traumas that you've kind of took to redefine your identity? And obviously traumas can affect us. A lot of those things affect us deeply. So I'm not saying that if you're affected by trauma that you're a bad person or anything, but just do a self-reflection and check in with yourself and see if there's any part of yourself that you're maybe neglecting or overlooking, and you have been for a while, because that might have come out of a really solid fear that shook you up. But it's never too late to go back to it. It's never too late to start over and to do it in a healthy way. So if there's a part of yourself you're looking to reconnect with, take this as your sign to do so. Other than that, the rest of this video ended up being fine, so let's go back to that Monday 2 weeks ago. What's up? Okay, so we are at Trader Joe's. We just ran to Walgreens, but I didn't vlog it because nothing really interesting happened. But the second lesson is that it's really all about mindset, and I know that that's a huge theme on this channel, but I just want to say that I've learned it the hard way recently, and in 2019 that's been one of the biggest lessons, is just that it's not about time, it's not about, whatever external circumstances you have going on. It's really just about your commitment and your drive and your motivation to get certain things done. And honestly, my life these days is probably more stressful because I'm just balancing even more things, but it's been so much easier because I've like come through these mental breakthroughs to feel like I'm okay to put myself out there. I'm okay to, be a little bit nervous doing things. I'm okay to try new things and feel like I'm just going to fail all the time, and I've accepted that that's just what part of this journey is, but that's also what makes this journey so great. It's honestly possible for you to make it happen, and as long as you spend that time to kind of reorient your mindset and don't feel sorry for yourself, don't make yourself a victim, don't say I have so much to balance, I have so much going on, and blah blah blah, and just kind of throw a pity party for yourself. Like, take that time to really say, like, I have so many goals, I am so powerful, I'm so badass that I'm doing all these different things that I need to just praise myself for that and celebrate that. And if something doesn't get done one day, it's not the end of the world. You're not going to beat yourself up for it, but you're going to get up the next day and keep trying again and again and again. And even since making these mindset changes myself, I haven't burned out as much. And you guys saw this channel, like I vlogged all of it, how burned out I got, how depressed I got so many different months working on this because I felt like I just wasn't accomplishing enough. But when I go back and look at those videos, I feel like I really was being authentic, and I'm proud of myself, and I kind of wonder, like, why was I second guessing myself so much? So if you are in that same position, I just want to say that it's possible to get to the other side without really having to change everything in your life. I spend 8 hours at work, and then including my like half-hour to hour lunch break, then I come home and I do 2 hours of editing, or I film throughout the day, whatever I have going on that day, and then I, like I said, go home and do all my errands, and I take care of the house, clean, shower, do my self-care routines, hang out with my boyfriend a little bit, obviously eat dinner. But it's been really sustainable for me simply because of the way that I've been able to shift my mindset and teach myself that this is what I genuinely want to be doing. And I feel like I wake up every day not feeling like I'm stressed out and bogged down and so overwhelmed, but instead feeling like I'm so happy that this is what I get to do, and that I'm willing to take on the challenges and the hard parts and the setbacks and the sacrifices along with all the great things. And even with those mindset shifts, my channel has pretty much doubled in subscribers, and it's not like, I'm obviously still a really small channel, but to see that amount of growth in just a couple of weeks has been like, okay, it really was like this change in energy that I needed to get other people interested in me and to feel like I'm okay promoting myself on my own Instagram. Like, it was little things like that that just held me back because I felt like I wasn't good enough, I wasn't sharing enough, I wasn't dramatic enough, I wasn't pretty enough. Like, there were so many things that I would constantly tell myself about making it on YouTube or even being my own boss that really got me down. So I just wanted to share that message with you guys. And I'm gonna go inside, meet my boyfriend, grocery shopping. He's probably almost done now, so I probably gotta get going. I will see you when I get home. Hey, what's up everyone? So we just had dinner. We actually had gnocchi with tomato sauce. It was actually really good, and we just whipped something up because I was gonna cook, but we ended up just not having time because I had to get some other things done. But that's okay. I'm cooking tomorrow since I have a way less busy day tomorrow, and it can be much more of a relaxing experience, so that's good. So one other thing that I love to do, either on Sunday or Monday of every week, just to like refresh and restart the week and start it on a good note, tarot. So it's something newer that I've gotten into. I've been doing it for probably about 8 months or so, so I don't like do readings for anyone or anything like that, but I just picked up a deck and I've been learning how to draw them for myself, and I've been doing different types of readings. So I either do one card and then maybe like every couple of months I'll do like a past, present, future card, or maybe like a Celtic cross reading or something like that, just to spice it up and do something a little bit deeper if I'm in the mood for it. So that's something that I wanted to share, that if it's something that you're into or something that you're thinking about trying, just go for it. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about in my third lesson that I wanted to share with you guys is actually that it's really important to notice your patterns and to notice your behavior on a larger long-term scale. So a lot of times, you know, we realize like something pisses us off or makes us angry over a day, or we notice like maybe times in a month that we, you know, have certain like emotional things or certain anxieties or certain insecurities come up. There's lots of different things like that that we get used to seeing, but when it comes to noticing our own behavioral patterns, it's so much harder to like identify that and to really keep yourself like accountable for that kind of thing, because it's hard to notice it first of all over a long period of time and see yourself doing certain things over and over again, unless they're like huge mistakes that you basically can't ignore. But it's also hard when it's you to see it from like a real perspective and to know what's fully going on, you know what I mean? So YouTubing and journaling have been huge, just because I can go back and look at my journals from like a year ago or something like that, even my morning pages, and just notice like the little things that were freaking me out, or things that I consistently wrote about over like a few years. Even if I don't journal every day, it's crazy to like look back on some of those posts. And the same thing with my YouTube videos, to see like what was going on and what was going on through my mind and in my life at that point. So any sort of like technique that you have or form that you have to do that, even if it's like one of those 5-minute gratitude journals or just something really, really simple, take advantage of little resources like that, because it helps you notice larger patterns, or it helps you notice when you know, when you do certain things or think certain ways. But the reason that I wanted to bring that up is that I've actually realized that anger has been a huge source of fuel for me recently, and not recently, probably over the course of my whole life, because, you know, when I was younger, you know, things weren't always fair, whether that was like financially or, you know, just being an immigrant, moving, you know, to a new country. Like there were so many things that I wasn't always used to, and new things that I was constantly dealing with and learning. And so because of that, I was just kind of used to using anger and turning it into something positive, because I didn't want my life to be a series of things that, you know, were just shortcomings, or were things that I let myself feel like I couldn't do, just because other people told me I couldn't. And so, you know, I use that as positive momentum throughout my life. But then I'm starting to realize now, after like 25 years of doing this basically, that it's a huge pattern and kind of a problem, because even though it's really, really good to turn negative situations and bad things that make you really angry into something positive, it's also not good to feel like you have to rely on that for your source of motivation, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of the times, because I was never used to being that comfortable when I was younger, positive, but because I'm now an adult, I'm more stable of a person, I'm not like moving around a lot or doing anything crazy, it's harder for me to grow from a place in my life where I genuinely feel comfortable, because it's a rare thing for me to experience that and to be in one place for so long, and like emotionally and mentally. And so it's been interesting to kind of coach myself through that, and to like help myself learn that I don't have to be angry to be motivated, and I don't have to be angry to push myself. And so it's really interesting to kind of learn these behaviors, because there wasn't necessarily anything that I was doing in terms of making huge mistakes or having huge regrets around this, but it's just something that I noticed that it's like, well, this part of myself could be better, and it just comes from self-awareness. And even though I haven't been meditating and things like that as much, I've been a lot better about just being mindful on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, take advantage of like journaling, or even just like recording things in your phone, because it's really, really cool what you end up finding out about yourself. So now I'm going to get on with my skincare routine, get ready for bed, and that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and again, thank you to all my new subscribers, and I will see you in the next video next week. Other than that, I love you all. Happy healing.